everyone, I'm Miss Moore, the middle school librarian, and welcome to the Overlake School Library. Although we are an online school right now, we do have a wonderful library just waiting for you when you get back on campus, so I'm going to give you a short tour. So over here is Miss Vikstrom's desk. Now she's the upper school librarian, but she's worked a lot with middle schoolers, and she's always happy to help you find some good resources or a good book to read. Plus she has a lot of Rubik's Cubes that you can use. And the first study room over here is a faculty workspace. The other study room is used by our learning specialists for students who need a place to take a test or do some other work. So here we have our main bulletin board where Mrs. McCandlish always does fun displays when we're on campus. Here's a picture of one she did last year about books that have been turned into movies or TV shows. Now on this wall we have our collection of YA fiction, books published for high schoolers. All of our fiction is organized alphabetically by the author's last name. You can find some really interesting books here, like, say, Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. Let's read the first line. The early summer sky was the color of cat vomit. So here we have our silent study room. This is where you go for individual study with no talking, whispering, tapping, Morse code, or interpretive dance about Latin declensions. Ms. Monsieur, we have talked about this. In front of the study room, we have Mrs. McCandlish's desk, as well as the library's copier and color printer. Possibly the most important part of the library is the bathrooms. Next to them is our raven statue. It's a long story. And then our art cart of supplies for you to use. Right next to that is the instructional space, which is used for classes coming to the library to do research. And this is the bridge that leads to the TLC building, the Technology and Languages Center. Now we come to more fiction. The adult fiction collection lives on this back wall here. There are lots of interesting books here as well, like I Captured the Castle by Dodie Smith. Let's read the first line of this one too. I write this sitting in the kitchen sink. I'd read it. All of the tall shelves in this area are our nonfiction books. We organize them by the Dewey Decimal System, which might be familiar to you from your public library. Dewey Decimal uses numbers to represent subjects, so the nonfiction is really organized by subject. If you wanted to look for a book on, say, why snot is green, you'd ask a librarian for the Dewey number that covers it, and she'd tell you 502. In the front here we have biographies, which are arranged alphabetically by the last name of the person that they're about. We have biographies that are aimed at adults and biographies that are aimed at middle school. We also have some DVDs, and on the bottom shelf, some Spanish fiction and picture books. Would you like to read The Lightning Thief in Spanish? We have it. So right here is my desk, plus some games and puzzles that you can borrow. This is my favorite section of the library, middle school fiction. We have over 5,000 middle school fiction books in our collection, and it's divided up by the type of book. So for example, we have some realistic fiction here and some mystery fiction here. So down here in the Nook, we have a ton of fantasy and science fiction and graphic novels for you. And now, since I know you're waiting for it, here's one of my favorite first lines from a middle school book. If your teacher has to die, August isn't a bad time of the year for it. That's The Teacher's Funeral by Richard Peck. All of these books are available for curbside pickup if someone can drive to school and pick them up for you. We will bag them up for you after you put in your request through the link on the library website or the link sent out through middle school announcements. Thanks for taking this tour with me. We can't wait until you're all back on campus with us again.